And hello and welcome back for this next game. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of the games I played a couple of days back at this 3 versus 3 map. We're playing on the map Razor's Edge, and this is a very small map. So yeah, since the game is a 3 versus 3, we're of course going to be 6 players in total. But this map is very small for hosting so many players. It actually hosts only 22 planets in total, which means that there's a lot of planets, or there's going to be a very scarce number of planets here for our different players. I think there's only about like 3 to 4 planets or something like that on average for each player. So we're going to be having a very scarce amount of resources here, and we'll just see how this goes from here. Now I'm playing Tech Enclave. I'm actually been enjoying playing Tech Enclave quite a bit. Usually, I mean, when I started playing, I usually played Tech Primacy, and yeah, I think I just, Tech Primacy, of course, is focused more on offense and Tech Enclave on defense. And, who doesn't like going a little bit more offensive stats? It feels more, allows you to be a little bit more proactive. I also I think I said that in some of my last videos, but I think Tech Primacy has a lot easier time early game than Tech Enclave, just because they start with this other planet item, which gives offensive stats, and of course Tech Enclave starts with planet item, which only gives defensive stats. And what this means is that it's going to be a little bit tougher to colonize, clearing the neutral militia as Tech Enclave. You're going to be a little bit slowed down early game compared to Tech Primacy, which makes sense thematically, I guess. But that's also one of the reasons I've kind of liked playing Tech Enclave. I mean, I feel like it's quite nice to actually, play this to kind of push yourself a little bit, because it allows your early game. It allows you to kind of have to try and stay sharp during the early game, so that you can keep pace with your opponents. You can't get away with equal amounts of mistakes or anything like that. So now we are getting to our second planet here, our volcanic planet, and since the map is so small, I know I'm gonna run into other players very quickly here. And our two teammates here are playing Vasaris, both of them. I'm not sure which version of Vasari they're playing, but now, once I'm getting this volcanic planet, I'm feeling quite comfortable right now. I'm still kind of, worried. Of course, I started with the economic start here as tech, so I don't have quite the combat power early game, which is a bit risky. I mean, on these smaller maps, you're going to run into your opponent much quicker than you might otherwise do. And because of that, it is of course going to be nice to have some combat power early, because you're going to run into your opponent early. At the same time, however, it is also the case, I think, that starting with this economic build is quite nice, because since there's so few planets available for each player, given that I can stabilize, this extra economy that I get with the Akan battlecruiser is actually going to matter a lot more percentage-wise. The percentage of the bonus income I get is going to be, or sort of the extra income that I would get compared to if I had a lot of planets, it's going to be much higher. So it's a little bit of a risk versus reward here. Of course, since I'm used to playing the economic start, I'm going to go for that still. At this point, I'm kind of worried about being attacked. I see that my white opponent here is capturing this asteroid. I am kind of worried about him coming in here. I know Vasari ships are much stronger. Like the starting capital ship for the Vasari is quite strong. It has a powerful AoE ability, and also the Vasari has their ships are a little bit higher value usually than the tech ships. They have more health, they deal more damage. Of course, they cost more supply, but in general, I think that the quality is better. So I'm kind of upgrading defense on this volcanic planet. I'm trying to get some of my turrets here so that I can hold this line, because of course this this volcanic planet is very, very important here. Yeah, I hope that it doesn't, like at this point, I'm kind of feeling a little bit more secure, because if he hasn't come in here yet, he's probably not planning to. So I kind of settling down here a little bit. I kind of don't expect as much to be attacked anymore, which allows me to kind of chill here. And at this point, since I'm starting this economic start and they are not really attacking me, I'm sort of getting quite comfortable here. Now I've queued up my second capital ship, and I'm also getting the mobile trade port level 2. And at this point, like, I'm starting to feel quite comfortable here, because I know that I'm almost certain here that no one's going to have a better economy than me, given that no one else has started with the Akan. I think one of our opponents is a tech player. But looking at this afterwards, I think he didn't start with the Akan. I think he started with a cool battleship. So he went for an offensive capital ship start. So I know that he isn't gonna out economize me, so to speak, and so I'm pretty comfortable. I know that he has. I know that I have the best economy. I'm pretty sure of it, at least. Now I see that white is actually, because our my light blue teammate here is playing quite aggressively. He's going for that volcanic planet up in the top there, and of course our opponents are trying to contest that. And white is going over there with his capital ship. Yeah, you can see he's jumping over here to try and contest our light blue teammate here, who's playing aggressively. So he's trying to get that back. In response, I don't have really an offensive capital ships. I only have like a couple of light frigates here. But I decide that, well, if white's just gonna leave, then I might as well just jump into this asteroid and try to pressure him a little bit. Unfortunately here, it takes a little bit too long for me to realize this, but I go into a couple of turrets here, and I try to attack him. This isn't really, this is quite bad. I was hoping that I could bomb this asteroid, but it has been regenerating up quite a bit of health already. And these two turrets are just destroying my light frigates. So I'm just gonna lose a lot of light frigates here. So I'm gonna try and send my army back. I can't really contest this. They're also using influence. Purple and white are kind of working together here to get gauss turrets using their influence. So they're gonna gain even more defense there, which is, it's gonna make it difficult for me to attack. So these turrets kind of stop me in my tracks, and unfortunately I can't punish white from going over to contest my light blue teammate. I think light blue also sent, he's asking me to accept. To be honest, I didn't even read the chat here, so I didn't notice that he said accept. But I think, looking at this afterwards, he actually sent me an offer. He wanted me to kind of send him resources. I think he wanted me to give him a couple of metal and crystal and so on. And honest to God, I didn't see it. So I don't know if, but maybe, I don't know. I think I made quite good use of the resources myself. So yeah. Let's see here. Now we are also going for some more civilian tech. Since I'm not being kind of pressured on this side, I feel quite secure in doing it. I mean, of course, something that I realized is that if you're in this close proximity to your opponent this early on in the game, I think sometimes it is quite nice to go for the military 2 technology a little bit faster to get that supply up, to get that extra 500 supply upgrade as quickly as you can. It allows you to have a little bit of a nicer army so that you can contest your opponents a little bit better. I usually like to go for civilian 4, civilian 2 first, because it allows you to get access to quite nice upgrades with the reduced orbital structure cost and so on. It really just pays off in the long run if you're allowed to go for that before military 2. So, and in this case, I'm doing that too. Also, one advantage here of going for the civilian 2 technology is, of course, that I will be allowed to, using that, gain Oceanic colonization. And this ocean planet is going to be very valuable. It's very nice to get ocean planets. Ocean planets are incredibly good, incredibly powerful for tech. Just give a ton of credits, a ton of research rate. Overall, just very good. Our yellow player is asking if he's gonna get this ocean planet. Looking back on this, I asked why, and I didn't really know why he thought that I should give it to him. Looking at it afterwards, of course, I mean, I think there's a quite strong argument for why yellow should have this planet, which is that he can, of course, use it to build his ships so that the reinforcements are gonna arrive quicker from yellow's side. So there's quite a good argument for why yellow should have this planet. I didn't end up giving the ocean planet to him because I didn't understand this at the time. And I'm not sure. I mean, even though there's quite a strong argument for yellow getting this planet, I mean, ocean planets are just so good for tech. And I mean, I think, yeah, I didn't give the planet away. But as we'll see, this ocean planet is gonna end up paying off very well for me. So I think it was fine to play a little bit selfishly here. And besides, I invested in getting this oceanic colonization. So I feel like I feel kind of that I want to get some returns back on my investment here. So I'm gonna play a little bit selfishly. And now finally I can colonize it, and we are up at 250 supply, of course. And now I think, I'm not sure, yeah, but our teammates are actually fighting on this Ferris planet while this is going on. And of course I'm not really helping them, but I don't really feel like I can. Yeah, I don't really feel like I'm in a position to help them. There's this, you know, of course there is this perfectly fine ocean planet here, and I feel like I should get that and go for the secure option. Our yellow teammate thinks that I should attack this asteroid on my side, which is a good idea, but as I tell him here, he has too many turrets there, so that's why I didn't go for that. That's why I didn't go for that. And now we reach this point. I have basically all of the planets that I'm going to get for the entire game. So we only have 4 planets here. But that being said, I mean, no one is going to have a lot of planets here. So I think that 4 is, yeah, and 4 is like above average here. I think the average is like somewhere in between 4 and 3 planets. So I have more planets on average here. I have an ocean planet, which is absolutely huge. Ocean planets, as I said, are really good. Yeah, they give a ton of credits. They also survey for Endurium. And Indurium is very nice on tech, of course, because for one, you need Indurium to get your cool battleships, which are just usually your main, like fighting capital ship, and it also allows you to get star bases. Star bases cost Indurium, of course, and we can just survey for Indurium instead of having to build an exotics refinery early in the game, which is really, really nice. And now we're just gonna keep building here. Yeah, we're upgrading. I figure that since I'm not under much pressure here, and since it seems like our teammates are kind of holding the line on the asteroid at the top, I figure that I should be allowed to go for high tech to kind of play for my usual strategy. If we were under more pressure, of course, I would not do this. I would be building a little bit more of my usual light frigates, just stay on military 4 tech for a bit. Our light blue teammate tells me to go close to the end of the gravity well so that I'm ready to help them in case our opponents go into attack there, which I think is a good call. So I think that's a good call by him. So I decide to do that. So I tell my ships to go there. Also getting a couple of extra scouts, trying to kind of get my position as secure as possible here. Right, and we are soon gonna get our Hushikos. So I just pre-queue some Hushikos here. Right, and so this is looking quite good so far. I'm feeling very, very good about my position now because as I said, they aren't contesting my planets. I have 4 planets, and all of these planets are very, very good. Especially the ocean planet is absolutely huge for me. And I know that I'm gonna scale. Basically, I mean, I feel even more secure now that I for sure have the best economy in this game. So I know that I'm gonna scale better than basically every player in this game. So I'm feeling very comfortable here. I feel very secure with just trying to continue to get my technology up here. And also getting some influence points to gain some extra fortresses, or sorry, the planet items, which gives your planets extra health and some extra military slots. And now we cut because there's a couple of nothing much is going on here. I'm kind of keep building my army. We cut a little bit. He's asking me to get gas cannons here too on his asteroid, which I also think is a good call. So I give him a ghost turret there on that asteroid. And we are building some Hushikos. We are scouting here. I'm kind of afraid to be attacked on this volcanic planet. So I'm trying to scout the movement of their army. I look at their army and I see that it's basically just 250 supply each, which I'm not too worried about. I would be more worried if they had like 500 something. Our light blue player points out that we have a little bit more supply than them combined, which is true, and he kind of wants to go aggressive here, but I tell him that I'm kind of reaching a point where I'm scaling very, very well, and I'm going to spike with more ships in a couple of minutes. And you can see right now my Harka research is done, so I'm just continuing to build those. And jumping forward here a little bit more, we can see I have about 25 to 30 Harkas ready. And I'm tell them that I can go in soon. I'm almost getting ready to use the supply that I have here to kind of attack them. And our light blue player, it's kind of set on going to the Ferris planet. He wants me to kind of jump over there and try to go for the Ferris planet, the orange Ferris planet here in the center. And I can understand where he's coming from. However, I am kind of, and he's kind of prompting me very is kind of pinging me here and is prompting me very diligently to come over there. But I am kind of skeptical about this idea, and I'm actually not going to adhere to this idea because I want to go to the asteroid here because if I jump over there to the Ferris planet and someone just decides to send a couple of ships to like my volcanic planet and ocean planet, then there's basically not really much I can do to defend, and I'm in such a great economic spot this game that I really don't want to lose any of my planets. I mean, I know that I'm scaling, I'm pretty sure at least at this point, that I'm scaling better than my opponents, which means that I really want to keep it this way. I don't want to lose any of my planets. So I am going to go, I tell my teammates I am going to go for the asteroid here. And this, unfortunately, makes them a little bit frustrated, I think. Yeah, the writing here, that, yeah, they get kind of frustrated with me, I think. But yeah, as I said, like, you can probably look at this in different ways, but from my perspective here, I am kind of not really too hyped about going so far away from my planets. If I get attacked on the flank here, it's going to be quite bad for me. So this is why I'm kind of don't really feel secure going there. And to be quite frank, this got me kind of a little bit frustrated with my teammates. I'm gonna be honest, because I felt like my perception during the game was that they were kind of just expecting me to go along with their calls for no other reason than that they wanted me to. And I didn't really see why. I mean, this is the first time we're playing together, and I didn't really feel like I had any obligation to, listen to them without question. So I was a little bit frustrated at this point. I must admit that. But in any case, they decide to pause here. I think at this point we can just cut to the next scene to where it's unpaused. And we unpause. As I said, I was a little bit frustrated. So I tell them to not talk about me in third person. Yeah. And they want me also to build culture on this planet because the culture is invading our territory now. And I think they're absolutely right about that I should build culture here. Because, the Advent has these unity abilities which can actually, if given that he gets it, he can actually kind of bomb and destroy the planets, given that he gets it and he has dominant culture. So I'm gonna try to get some culture to counter that, as my teammate pointed out. At this point, I have quite a good army. I'm trying to go in here. And I can see that he has a bunch of turrets, but I feel kind of secure. My army is so big here that I feel like I can get all of these turrets. I think they're still frustrated with me. I think they wanted me to, yeah, of course, they wanted me to go along to the Ferris planet. And they're going to do that without me. And what do you know here? Orange actually shows up, and his army is much larger than I expected. He has a bunch of capital ships. He has quite a good fleet to back them up. So I'm like, okay, yeah, that's much larger than I expected. And I feel like I can't really fight him heads on in like right next to all these turrets. I am going to, because I see that my teammates are going in to attack the Ferris planet right as I'm going in. So I'm going to attempt to try and help them a little bit by just keeping the pressure on somewhat. So I'm going to try to jump back to the asteroid instantly, even though I'm jumping out. My idea is just that perhaps I can keep Orange kind of busy defending this planet and kind of stalling a little bit for my teammate at least, even if I can't fight him. So he has, yeah, he's clairvoyancing my planet. And Orange is coming. Orange has actually jumped back to the Ferris planet, which means that I am alone here again. So I'm gonna try to attack some of these turrets again. But there's so many ghost turrets. Like they've kind of all of their team has kind of been stacking like the maximum amount of ghost turrets using influence. And these ghost turrets are like, very, very strong. Actually, they kind of just yeah, they're dealing a lot of damage to my capital ship, my Akan here. And Orange is coming back, and I really can't fight him here. This is just too much. I was so surprised that Orange had this large of a fleet, because I thought that I had definitely had the best economy here. But it just so happens, I think the reason that Orange managed to get such a large fleet was actually something I didn't expect. But looking at this, you can actually see if I happen to zoom out the map here, eventually, you're going to see that our white opponent has actually given up all of his planets except for his home planet, and given them up to Orange, which means that Orange has 5 planets and White only has 1. So I think that is definitely how Orange could build such a large fleet. He just has a bunch of planets and is going to get a great economy off of that, with the disadvantage of White not really having really good stuff. And yeah, they're telling me to attack, but at this point my capital ship is kind of bruised, so I can't really. I mean, I feel like, yeah, I'm kind of in this indecisive moment here. I don't really know what to do. They're kind of attacking on the Ferris planet, and I feel like I can't really go back in. My capital ships are too bruised, and I feel like this is not just the moment to attack. So yeah, I'm trying to run my units to the star here. I figure that maybe I can, yeah, given that they were going to keep fighting there on the Ferris planet, I would have at least some way to get there going via the star. But they ended up retreating, which I think was a good call by them. And after we went to the star, you can see now they're actually choosing to go on the offensive. So now Orange shows up at my doorstep, and this made me kind of nervous. So now I have 1,000 supply, but I can see, of course, Orange has about 900 supply, and a lot of this supply that he has is tied up in capital ships, which is, of course, much better than me. I only have 2 capital ships. And so this makes it a bit scary for me to fight this. So Orange definitely has a superior army here in many ways. Yeah, I come in here. I am of course going to try to defend this very important Oceanic planet. And I'm really not sure how this is going to go. However, I'm kind of kiting back towards my buildings here. I want to fight where my buildings are, where my retrofit base are, which can kind of heal my ships. And so I've kind of kited back here a little bit. And now I'm going to go in and try to attack his ships. And I kind of need to defend this planet. I mean, if I lose this planet, I just lose the game. And luckily for me, I kind of get some really nice backup here from Yellow, which is very, very nice. Very well played to my teammate. Very, very nice here. It's gonna come in, and together we're just gonna outsupply them quite heavily. And Orange has definitely the largest army here, so that way our light blue teammate, since White sacrificed all of his planets to kind of feed Orange, to give Orange all of these resources, we don't really have to worry too much about White and Purple ganging up on our last teammate. This is very nice. You know, except for Orange's capital ships here, I think definitely that my Harkas are kind of outdoing his other ships. because Orange has a bunch of Tempest vessels to fill out his supply. And Tempest vessels are very nice early, but they're very bad against heavily armored targets, or you know. So this means that Tempest vessels, although very strong early game against these light ships, are going to get quite outscaled by these heavily armored cruisers and capital ships that we're getting later in the game. So yeah, a large part of Orange's army isn't really good here. Jumping forward a little bit, we managed to chase out Orange. And now they're kind of hungry to... My teammates are kind of hungry to attack again. So, and at this point I kind of feel like we should perhaps try to do something as well. But what do you know, right as we have that thought, our opponents actually decide to attack. So now our opponent is sending a very coordinated attack here towards the asteroid of my teammates here. And I decide that, okay, this is it, this is the moment. I'm definitely gonna try to defend here together with my teammates. And this is a very important fight, of course, and it's gonna be an absolute bloodbath. It's a very, very intense fight here that's about to happen. I get my ships in here. I'm of course going to start to build as many ships as I can. I think I have the upgrade to the point where I can get 1,500 supply too, which is very nice. And I come in here with my ships. Most of my supply here is Harkas. And I decide that I'm going to send my Harkas to try to focus Purple's missile shooters, so the Javelis frigates. Because Harkas are quite... I mean, their stats line up very well against these missile Javelis cruisers. Harkas do decently against capital ships, but not as good as missile shooters, they're Javelis. So that's why I decide that I want to have the sort of supply of my army work as effectively as possible. So of course that's why I'm sending the Harkas towards the missile shooters to take care of them. And this is going to be, I think, the most efficient use of the type of ships that I have. So focusing the capital ships here would be sort of a mistake, I think, because those are just much tankier, and that's gonna take too long to kill, and we might get punished for trying to focus those. When they have this many missile shooters, of course, these missile guys kill capital ships very, very quickly. And this means that you really need to keep track of whether they are trying to focus some of your capital ships, so that you are ready to kind of send them away instantly. And I already sent my Akan away. I noticed that he was trying to focus my Akan. And luckily I noticed in time, which allowed me to send it out right away and heal up at my Oceanic planet right next to it. And now it's jumping back in again. Yeah, I think that, yeah. And you can see, we saw that Purple started out with like 75 or something like that missile shooters. And now we kind of reduced the number back down to 56. And of course, the fewer they get, the faster we're gonna kill them, because the Harkas can kind of focus more and more of the same targets. So the less of these missile shooters they have, they're gonna die, you know, exponentially quicker. So and I can see that kind of a lot of my ships are still alive, which I'm quite happy to see. I feel like we're doing quite well here. I mean, at the start of the fight it looked quite even, but now it at least feels like this is starting to turn in our favor. We are killing a lot of his missile shooters, which is honestly a very large amount of their damage output, their combined damage output. And now we have their missile shooters down to only 30. You can see they're dying very, very fast now. He's trying to send in more, but we're killing them much quicker than he can send them in. and not many of my Harkes have died. We're keeping the count at about the same as when the fight started, because we're sending in new ones. Our Hushikos are kind of healing them up. They're kind of being very difficult to kill. Now, at this point, I kind of, I keep focusing the missile shooters for a little bit. But at this point, I feel like now they're down to like only 20 of them, which is not really that much. I don't really feel threatened by only 20 or so javelins. So now I decide to just go for Orange's capital ships. Because those are very, very, like, he has a lot of capital ships. They are quite high level. Picking off some of these would be very, very nice. And we actually get to pick one off right away. And of course, at this point, it is just very obvious that the opponent's team isn't going to win this fight. They're not doing well anymore. If it wasn't obvious before, it sure is obvious now. And I think that the opponent's team should definitely retreat here. They should definitely retreat here. But for some reason, they don't do that. They kind of don't retreat with their entire army. They kind of stay with a bunch of their ships. And this does in fact allow us to pick off a lot of these capital ships of Orange here. Which is absolutely huge actually, because yeah, of course, I think I said that, but capital ships on a small map like this, it's such a huge investment. Like, resources are scarce, and he's for sure not gonna have like the resources ready to kind of rebuild them quickly. So us getting these capital ships here is just absolutely huge. It's gonna lower the quality of Orange's army by like a ton. They're gonna be, his army is gonna be much worse from now on. And of course, like now, the game was kind of even before, but after winning this fight, after getting all of these ships, we're of course we're in a quite comfortable lead here in this game. Although the game is of course not over. I asked my teammates if we should follow them because now they are actually retreating. And my light blue teammate says yes, so we're gonna try to follow them. I wanted to follow to the asteroid. I wanted to follow purple to the asteroid here, but I see that our light blue teammate wanted to follow towards the Ferris planet. So I kind of go along with where he's going now. I thought that following purple was going to be the superior option, because my ships deal much better with these, missile shooters. But yeah, that's since our light blue teammate decided to jump to the Ferris planet, we're of course gonna try to keep our armies in sync. So I am following him here. And the remainder of Orange's army and some production is here. We're going to try to get him here. We're also gonna try to get some of his production and as many of his remaining ships as possible. And also, yeah, we can see here that purple is actually coming in to try to defend this Ferris planet. And once again, I have a bunch of Harkes. I know that my Harkes are quite good against missile shooters, so I tell my teammates that I'm gonna go for those. I'm gonna try to pick off as many of these missile shooters as possible. So yeah, we go about it, our normal business, attacking them, and I feel like I don't really know, like I don't really feel like they should be contesting us here, because at this point my army is just, I mean, yeah, of course, at this point me and my team just outsupplies their army quite heavily, which means that they're really just sending their armies in here as a little bit, you know, a little bit on a suicide mission. They're really not gonna get any value from you know, sending the ships in here to try to contest this Ferris planet. Of course, I mean, of course, I know they feel like if they lose this Ferris planet, they're gonna lose the game, kind of. But I still feel like they should kind of be playing a little bit more defensively here. They should just, what do you call it? they should just accept that they're kind of in a bad spot and try to make the best of it instead of trying to forcibly try to defend this Ferris planet. I'm trying to get a star base here now too. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm getting a star base at my flank planet because I feel like now that I have my army over here at the Ferris planet, I really don't have anything to defend my flank. And if I was them, I would definitely start to think about going for a flank attack. So that's why I'm getting a star base here. I'm trying to get a star base at my volcanic planet. And you can see we're actually picking off even more of Orange's capital ships here, which is very, very nice. The more of these capital ships we can pick off, of course it's going to make it so much more difficult for them to play the game. And we attack it, we keep shooting it, and we pick it off. Very, very, very nice. And we jump ahead a little bit more. We are, and you can see, like, now this is something that we didn't expect. We kept attacking, we keep trying to bomb this Ferris planet, but the funny thing is that because our opponents had Sanctify, the unity ability with Advent that allows you to heal your planet. I think he had it in max rank, which meant that we couldn't really kill this Ferris planet, like even with all of our ships bombing it, which was kind of insane actually, that we really couldn't kill that Ferris planet, which made it really difficult for us to make any progress. So we tried to go for this Ferris planet instead, the white Ferris planet, but as our yellow teammate rightly points out, there's not really any point for going from this planet instead, because it just makes it even worse, because now our line of reinforcements isn't gonna get here. And also, they can just heal this planet too with Sanctify. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, I decided to just go back again instead. And what do you know? Now looking at this, you're gonna see here in a second, I look and now I see, of course, that there's a bunch of bombers heading towards my planet. Yeah, so now I notice and I feel like, oh shoot, that's a lot of bombers actually. I have a star base on the planet right next to here, but I don't really have any defense on my other planets. And this is why I was worried before about going for like this Ferris planet, because I know that I might get attacked on the flank, which was going to be very, very bad for me. So at this point I'm kind of worried, like, oh damn, this is very annoying. Now I might actually lose some of my planets, and even though we're in this really great position here, this might make it very difficult to win, actually, to finish our opponents off. Like, we can't get this first planet because our opponent has level 3 Sanctify, and now they're just sending these bombers in to try to bomb my planets. So I'm kind of really trying to do my best here to prevent this from dealing damage. I tried queuing up a bunch of hangar defenses. I researched hangar defenses right away, and I'm trying to get as many hangar defenses as possible to try to defend my planets. And yeah, in the meantime, I'm trying to fight. I'm trying to multitask here. I'm trying to get defenses on my planets with a bunch of hangar defenses. And I'm also trying to balance that while trying to fight on the Ferris planet with my main army. So, excuse me, with my main army. And of course, I have a lot invested in my. I mean, home planet victory isn't on here. So even if he gets like one of my planets or my home planet, it's not gonna result in me losing the game. But of course, losing my home planet would still be very, very bad. So because so much of my income held up there. And for some reason, Purple doesn't bomb my asteroid. He just goes straight for my home planet instead. And luckily for me, I wasn't sure I was gonna make it, but he actually did. I actually did manage to get a lot of my hangar defenses up and running. before his bombers managed to get there, which I was really happy about. This allowed, actually, you see, yeah, there's a lot of bombers here. It's like 12 of them, and those would bomb my home planet very, very quickly. But since I have all of these, I managed to kind of have a quite quick reaction here, quite good reaction with this response. And I responded with these hangar defenses. They're gonna be able to clean up all of these bombers, and it's just gonna be quite nice. And these bombers are, again, these bombers are also are quite expensive, which mean, and they're not really gonna deal any damage here because he didn't go for my asteroid. So yeah, this is also very good for us because, of course, he made a large investment in these bombers, and uh, they didn't really deal any damage, or they're not going to deal any damage. We also managed to get some hangar defenses up and running on our volcanic planet, which allowed us to defend that as well. And that's also why I like hangar defenses. I mean, turrets are really, really good. Turrets are really good. But they can't attack. Turrets have a very limited range, and of course, hangar defenses have unlimited range within the gravity well. So that allows them to kind of deal with the bombers. Like, the bombers can't go around the turrets or anything like that. And I try to warn my teammates, of course, that they have bombers, which I think confused them a little bit, because, yeah, you're gonna see, like, the bombers are actually, of course, bombers are usually referred to as the strike craft. So, yeah, the bomber version of the strike craft. So I didn't really think, I always called them bombers, but I think that's not the standard way. I think they're called siege I mean, yeah. Of course, it would be easier if I call them siege frigates. But yeah, in any case. And you can see I'm trying to get my Titan up and running here. Like, the game is going on quite a while, and we can't really make progress because, yeah, you see, he keeps sanctifying this planet, and we really just can't kill it. Like, we're on this planet, and we're like cleaning up all of his stuff so he can't use the planet, but there's really no way for us to bomb it. We can't really get it, which is making it very difficult for us to finish the game. Now Purple is sending in bombers towards our other teammates. I try to warn them, but I think that they, yeah, I didn't really understand. I didn't really understand that calling them bombers would be unclear. So I think my warning didn't do as much as it maybe should have. But in any case, we try to warn them, and he says. Our teammate here asks if we mean the planet killers, which is, of course, yes, that's what we mean. And the bombers did manage to get Yellow's asteroid, but not anything more. We're also building our Titan now. Since, like, the game has been going on and we can't really push through here, we decided to go for a Titan here, even with this limited amount of planets. We did actually manage to get enough labs so that we could go for that. And now we're actually building it. You can see in the bottom here, it's halfway done. And I figured that this would be our win condition, or at least a win condition for us, was that, I mean, of course, it's difficult for us to get this planet, but once the Titan comes out, it's just going to be like an unstoppable machine. And that way we can just bulldozer through all of their defenses and everything. It's going to be very difficult for them to do anything. Because, like, right now, they keep sending in some of their ships and are being a little bit annoying, at least. But, I mean, once the Titan comes out, that's just going to allow it to level up and become stronger and stronger. So it's a sort of a win condition for us. Yeah, we keep building the Titan here. It's almost ready. and I'm feeling quite good. We had these 4 planets. We had really good economy the entire game. We managed to defend our planets against the bomber cheese, or sort of uh, the yeah, our teammate. Yeah, and now we get the Titan. And of course that gives the announcement to everyone in the game that the Titan is built, and they immediately call good game, well played here. Uh, and so that felt quite good. We say GG, and they end up disconnecting. My teammates also end up disconnecting. Everyone ends up disconnecting except for me. And I stayed in the game just for a little bit, just because I waited a long time to get this Titan, and now I just want to send it in to my opponents, whatever AI control units our opponents have, to just see my Titan do some damage here before I leave the game. So, but this was a really fun game, and it was very interesting, it was very intense. There was a lot of interesting things going on, a lot of back and forth. We managed to get Titan in the end for kind of a nice win here, for a nice win condition. And yeah, we managed to get a pretty good economy even with these few planets, and managed to make a lot of make use. What do you say? Do more with less, so to speak. So yeah, very fun game. I hope you enjoy watching here, and that's enough for now. So see you in the next video.